Infinity Plays back at again with another awesome video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're doing Hell's Kitchen Hazbin Hotel, episode 15, Country Fusions. Alright, hang on, I gotta go close the door. So the episode starts off with Charlie Morningstar, thinking to herself, she's gotta get serious for the finals. The finals are coming up. Time to get serious, She really wants to make it to the final two. It's a girl. That's her goal right now. And Vaggie is next, and she's thinking about being the final two with Charlie. Thinking about it. I really hope me and Charlie are the final two. She wants her and her girlfriend to be the final two. Because, she loves her. They got Angel over here, a little worried. So as he thinks about Husk's recent being put up on the chopping block. Man, I worried about Husk. He's been up 2 times. Maybe 3 times in a row, really. But yeah, he's worried about Husk. And he's worried about himself too. Husk really needs to himself. He needs to get his shit together. Okay, can't let myself be up there again. No, he's gotta get. No, he can't lose again. Challenge time! Make a dish that is a combination of 2 countries' ingredients. So you got Charlie, China, and Korea. Vaggie, Mexico, and Indonesia. Angel Dust is Italy and Japan. And with Husk, it's France and India. So let's get right into it. Charlie's Chinese and Korean dish was decent, but lacked seasoning and watery sauce. Yeah, so not necessarily the best. Yeah, Vaggie. Vaggie's Mexican and Indonesian dish was undercooked and looked terrible and bland. Okay. Angel Dust Italian and Japanese dish both looked great and tasted great. You have a Husk's French and Indian dish was great also in looks and taste, but not as good as Angel. Fourth place we have Vaggie, third was Charlie, second was Husk, and first was Angel Dust. So Angel Dust got, for his reward, he got to go to LA, Los Angeles. Good trip there. I thought to myself, said, this is nice, he was enjoying Los Angeles. And for the other contestants, their punishment was to sort out garbage and recycling out of a big trash pile into the garbage or the recycling. So yeah, Charlie thought to herself, this sucks, and it kind of does suck. After that, Angel had a talk with Husk, because he's worried about him. He said, you've been nominated 2 times in a row. Well, technically, I think 3 times, actually. I don't want to be here without you. And, yeah, he's pretty worried about Husk. And, Husk knows he could go home if he doesn't step up his game. And so he, says, I know and I promise I won't be up there again. He promises to Angel that he won't perform badly, and he will be in the final 2 with him. Now it's time for the dinner service. Adams was Husk, Garnish was Vaggie, fish was Charlie, and meat was angel dust. However, it was about this time around. It was about leading. They all took turns up the pass. So Huss was up first, and he immediately made a mistake with the ticket. You called out the ticket even though it holds 3 entrees for 4 appetizers. Okay, yeah. Huss didn't read the ticket and if he did, he would realize there was only 3 entrees for 4 appetizers. Yeah, so he didn't do. So yeah, he immediately made a mistake, and Gordon Ramsay noticed later on he wasn't speaking up that much. He wasn't commanding as much, and Gordon Ramsay said, "Speak up, come on, Husk." And after that, and after Husk got told that, he stepped up. He began talking more, can't get in the rhythm a bit. And then he passed a second quality control test. Said, there are carrots in there, in the risotto, even though there's meant to be peas. And Yormsey said, well spotted. And so he struggled a little in the beginning. However, he did make a good end. So yeah, an okay run at the pass. Next to us, Charlie's turn. Charlie immediately passed the first quality control test. These aren't scallops, where he said, well spotted, that is a fish. They're cut up. The fish was cut up into like scallop looking shaped pieces. Yeah. And Charlie noticed that Husk's spaghetti was undercooked. It's undercooked, Undercooked. Great notice. Yeah. Yeah, so Charlie was doing pretty good. And Charlie passed her second quality control test as she saw that the halibut was actually a bass. That's a bass, not a halibut. Where he said, nicely spotted. So she had she didn't really have any really mistakes during her run at pass. So yeah, Charlie did pretty well. Next, it was Vaggy's turn. And she immediately passed her first quality control test, seeing that the puree was scallion instead of celery root. This is scallion, it's not celery root. I said, nice job. She was off to a pretty good start. However, then she then failed her second quality control test as she mistook mashed celery root for mashed potatoes. These are mashed celery root, not potatoes. So yeah, made a mistake. However, then she then recovered after that little hiccup, as she noticed that Charlie's halibut was undercooked. Charlie, undercooked! So yeah, Garner said, great job. Overall, she started out strong, got a little bumpy in the middle, and finished off strong. And yeah, a good one. Next, it was Angel's turn to lead the pass. Angel's turn to be at the pass. And he immediately did well by spotting the New York strip was not a New York strip, but a ribeye. This is ribeye, not New York strip. When we said nicely spotted. So good. However, and then spotted husk carrots were overcooked. Overcooked carrots. Great job, great spot, Angel. Yeah, so he was doing really good. And he passed his second quality control test by noticing the sauce is wrong. This is steak sauce, not lamb sauce. We said nicely spotted. So, yeah, Angel had a good run to pass to run through. He was amazing. When the dinner service was over, Wormy said this: "Great job, everyone. You all did pretty well. Well, but only two can contestants can make it to the finale. See you there. See you when I decide on the final two." I just realized I made a mistake. I made a mistake there, but it's fine. Okay. When it was all said and done, Grimsley looked at the final four and realized Husk it was probably the weakest one here. And and he wished him good luck. "Husk, you did well and were a great contestant, but unfortunately, your leading wasn't great. It was good, but wasn't great, and you need to be a leader in Hell's Kitchen." And so Husk was eliminated, and the final two are Charlie and Angel Dust. All right. So Norm said this to Vaggie. Oh, that's a little sad. "Vaggie, you were good, but the other two performed better." And Vaggie was a little sad. All right. Ingrid said, "You two get ready for the finale." Yeah. Now, now the finale is awaiting. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, comment, like, and hit that notification bell so you get notified of my future videos. Without further ado, bye bye.